Purgatory. Is it family dinner after being caught sneaking into your house at 4 a.m.? Well, yes, but that's pretty extreme. And most people would agree that the underworld contains much less severe punishments. Hi, I'm V, and today I'll be taking your curious craniums on a trip through the Inferno. These are the top 5 worst punishments in Dante's Inferno. Number 5. Greed. In Dante's Inferno, the punishment for the sin of greed is deeply relentless. The souls guilty of the sin of greed find themselves in the 4th circle of hell, a wasteland covered in darkness. Here, their punishment acts as a cycle of endless torment. Imagine a desolate expanse where the ground quakes beneath your feet and mournful cries fill the air. The sin-filled souls are forced into a never-ending, mercilessly agonizing activity. They labor eternally, pushing colossal weights and massive boulders towards each other. Their efforts are in vain, as the immense burdens never yield to their toil, forever reenacting the insatiable pursuit of wealth that consumed them in life. Greed is enforced by the endless futility of their labor, always striving for a goal that they are never going to be able to reach. Their faces contort with anguish, and their bodies bear the scars of their physical exertion. In this realm, the chase for material gain that defined their lives is mirrored by the perpetual, impossible goal they now fight to achieve. Both sides of the rocks had an imbalanced lifestyle, consuming too much, wanting too much, taking too much, greedy. Both sides handled money incorrectly, having an unbalanced lifestyle, so they are forced to survive in the middle ground for all of eternity. This circle of hell illustrates how the insatiable hunger for wealth, pursued at the expense of all else, ultimately leads to an empty and agonizing existence. The souls trapped here in this torment are a reminder of the lifestyle that supports placing inconsequential material possessions above all else. Yeah, I know a couple of people that may end up in this circle. 1%. Oh, sorry. Something's caught in my throat. Gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Let's move on. Number 4. Gluttony. The punishment for gluttony is a reminder of the excesses and indulgences that marked the lives of the guilty souls trapped here. These souls find themselves in the 2nd circle of hell, where their punishment is a vivid portrayal of the consequences of their overconsumption. This desolate landscape is consistently drenched in a never-ending rain, a chilling and ceaseless downpour. Here, the gluttonous souls wallow in the muck and filth, standing in garbage that is being composted by worms crawling under their feet, representing the waste and excess of their earthly lives. They are forever submerged in a vile slush, with their bodies weighed down by the constant rain, unable to rise or find any refuge from their torment. A torment that is only made worse by the knowledge that the waste they stand in is their own, waste that they caused in their gluttonous life. The punishment for gluttony is a cycle of discomfort and misery, a reflection of the appetites that drove these individuals to overindulge in food, drink, and experiences during their mortal existence. It serves as a visual metaphor for the emptiness that comes from an unrestrained pursuit of pleasures. As Dante and his guide Virgil navigate through this circle, the suffering souls are marked by their emaciated and pitiful appearances. Their desires are now replaced by an unending sense of wanting to be anywhere else and an uneasy discomfort. The consequence for gluttony is a cautionary perspective shifting tale surrounding excessive consumption and the pursuit of physical pleasure. These desires ultimately lead to an existence defined by misery, filled with and fueled by the consequences of their own actions. Number 3. Heresy. Heresy gets a very special treatment as a sin. It's like nothing you have ever seen. Hopefully nothing like you've ever seen. Heresy, which essentially means holding beliefs contrary to the official religious doctrine, is placed in the 6th circle of hell. And no, it's not hearsay like some other clearly unintelligent girl on this channel once said, because that's ridiculous and nobody would ever be able to confuse the two words. If you're a frequent watcher and you think I'm talking about myself, no, I'm not. The girl who said hearsay was fired for her mistake. We take pronunciation very seriously here, obviously. In this circle of hell, heretics are condemned to reside in flaming tombs eternally, where they are scorched by the burning, searing heat. These tombs are adorned with etchings that deny the soul's immortality, symbolizing their defiance of orthodox Christian teachings, and honestly being pretty sarcastic. The souls trapped here rejected core Christian beliefs, and so, of course, their retribution reflects this rejection. They're left in a state of perpetual suffering, unable to escape the heat. The intensity of the fire mirrors the intensity of their heretical heretical beliefs, which challenged the fundamental tenets of faith. As Dante journeys through this circle, he encounters souls who dared to question the fundamental truths of faith. The flaming tombs stand as a testament to the lasting impact of such blasphemous heretical beliefs, a reminder of the price paid for defying religious doctrine. It's a grim reminder of the consequences of deviating from established religious beliefs. The heretics thought they could define their own spiritual path, but now they're ensnared in their own fiery defiance. Dante's depiction of the underworld for Heresy serves as a warning about the dangers of challenging religious orthodoxy, the enduring torment that results from rejecting core beliefs, and is a display of the consequences of heretical thinking. Yeah, I'm ending up here for sure, no doubt about it. But you know, whatever, I'll probably get a nice tan or something. Number 2, Limbo. Limbo is where Dante's Inferno all begins. It's the first circle of hell and the home of the unbaptized and virtuous pagans. These souls weren't exactly sinners, but they didn't receive a free pass to heaven either. In Limbo, you'll find a lush and serene meadow, like the one in Twilight, I assume. But don't be fooled by the scenery. The souls here are stuck in a seemingly pleasant but ultimately melancholic state. They're not getting the full heavenly experience, but they're not suffering either. It's a bit like being in eternal waiting. Here's the catch though. These souls are forever denied the presence of God. They're on the outskirts of salvation, so close but just out of reach. The pain comes from the knowledge that they will never attain true divine union. It's a place where people of great moral character who lived before the time of Christ, like virtuous pagans, philosophers, and even people who died before baptism, end up. Limbo is not the typical tormenting affair you'll see in the other circles of hell I'll be going through. It's more of a spiritual longing, a forever sense of being almost there, almost in serenity, but not quite. These souls will never experience fulfillment of divine love. The first circle is sort of a liminal space, a waiting room for the afterlife. It's a reminder that even if you led a virtuous life, without Christian faith, you can't access the ultimate rewards of heaven. This place shows Limbo is waiting as a starting point, showing us that not all souls in hell are tormented. Some are just left in a state of longing and never quite attaining the ultimate divine presence. It's an interesting exploration of the moral and spiritual implications of faith and the consequences of being outside its fold. Oh, okay, so I'm going here then. That's okay. It'll be like Twilight forever. Would vampires be chilling here, or would they be somewhere else? Like, is there like a special inferno for the supernatural species? Probably. I guess I'll bring my own glitter paint and I'll make myself an Alice Cullen while I'm there. Number 1, Treachery. Treachery is the 9th and final circle of hell, the deepest and coldest place where the very worst offenders end up. It is a frozen, icy wasteland, an environment so brutally cold that it easily numbs the very soul of its occupants. In this place, you'll find the souls of traitors, people who betrayed the trust of others in the most despicable way. Dante's got 4 zones here, each with its own specially designed form of treachery. Cana. This first zone is named after Cain, the biblical figure who committed the first act of killing by taking his brother Abel's life. In Cana, the traitors to their family are frozen up to their necks in the icy lake. They're basically stuck, unable to move, with only their heads peeking out of the icy prison. Antinora. This is the zone for those who betrayed their homeland or political allies. Here, these souls are also frozen in ice, but up to their eyes. They're sort of like living popsicles, their vision completely blocked by the ice. This zone is for those who betrayed their guests. The souls here lie on their backs on the frozen ground with their faces pointed upwards. It's a posture that reflects their betrayal since they were supposed to be welcoming hosts. Yikes. You better throw good parties, guys. I know some people who may end up here. Like, what do you mean you threw a party without dips for the chips? That's betrayal right there. Betrayal of the highest degree. Judeca. At the very center of this icy realm, you've got the worst of the worst. This is where the traitors to their masters, like Satan himself, end up. Satan's trapped here too, and he's got 3 sinners he's chewing on. Judas, who betrayed Jesus, and Brutus and Cassius, who betrayed Julius Caesar. Treachery is all about the cold, a numbing and isolating sensation. It reflects the ultimate betrayal of trust, where personal bonds were severed in the most heinous, despicable ways, like not having chip dip. Here, you can't escape the icy cold, and you're stuck with the consequences of your treacherous actions for all of eternity. Okay, as promised, I will be showcasing some of my favorite comments. First up, from Fleshwound42, ew, gross name, we have, "The puppeteer is making your arms flail too much," and I did respond to this one, but guys, PSA, comments like this need to stop. I'm not in control of what my puppeteer does. My arms are on his strings, and if you want to send me money to hire a new puppeteer, please do, but until then, we're stuck with this overly enthusiastic guy. From Robert Gregg 9487, stop jiggling around and waving your hands. From Real Deal 2673, good job, but we can hear you, so you can lay off the sign language. Too distracting. Well, some people can't hear, so the puppeteer has to take that into account. Be more considerate, please. From Marta Fuentes 4453, you need to slow it down with those arms. They were going all over the place. From Shareable, why do you shake and bounce like that while you're talking? I've never seen anything like that before. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I'm starting to see kind of like a pattern here. But to close off, we have my absolute favorite comment yet. It has received massive acclaim and adoring praise from my loved ones, my coworkers, and of course, myself. We have the beautifully worded, masterfully crafted comment from VFW Doug saying, decent list, but I have to say, the presenter's flailing limbs are distracting, kind of like an eldritch horror in itself. Sorry. Okay. Beautiful comment. Perfect. No notes. Please continue on. I am so looking forward to what you bring to the table next. You have a bright future here. Okay, so from these comments, and I'm not certain, so tell me if I'm wrong, but you guys think I move too much and you would like to see less movement from the puppeteer, yeah? Okay, I'll try to pass the message on to the higher ups. It's just a little tricky because, you know, higher up. You get it? Because like the puppeteer would be above me, so like, okay, never mind. That brings us to the end of today's video. Which circle of the Inferno would you end up in? Is that a controversial question? I'm curious. I'd be in Limbo or the fiery coffins for sure. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed my atheist rambling, and of course, I hope you guys learned something. Keep it curious, friends. Bye!